I hate to be the one to break it to you, but you cannot print stone straight out of your printer. I don't care what kind of infused filament you find, it's never going to look like a true sculpture that was made in the 16th century. Luckily, you can make your prints look like stone after they're already printed thanks to Sculpt Coat. At least I hope you can. This bag is still sealed shut. I don't really know how this is going to work. We're going to find out together right now. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. This is actually me being a victim of Instagram's targeted advertising, so... Sculpt Coat is basically a stone paint that you can paint onto your prints after they're printed. Obviously, you have to have a physical object to paint. I don't even know why I said that. In front of me, we have the Chalkstone White, Soapstone Gray, and the Pumpkin Stone. Each bag comes with 8 ounces of powder, and it is recommended to use 2 tablespoons per print, so you get a lot of use out of these bags. I will say the recommended powder to water ratio was really hard to find. It ends up being a 2.5 to 1 powder to water ratio. However, they also recommend to mix until you can get it to a smooth peanut butter consistency, and that actually seemed to work the best. We're also going to completely ignore what I did to that first bag before I realized that you could just pull the strap on the back and open it up. I definitely recommend that way over what I did here. That's for sure. Now before we get this powder all mixed up, we have to see what we're going to throw this on. So let's check out the prints that we're going to stonify today. That does not seem like the right phrase, but I'm going to roll with it. Hey, I got a little secret for you. I got a monthly must print video and a best 3D printed Christmas gifts video coming out really soon, so subscribe if you don't want to miss out on it. It would also be kind of cool to hit 50k subs before Christmas, I'm just saying. Up first, this guy needs no introduction, you already know who he is. When we get a lot closer to the details on this print, you can see that right off of this printer in this white PLA, the layer lines are really easy to see. Obviously that takes away from the stone sculpture look because real sculptures don't have layer lines because there's no layers in it. The next 3D print is this stone column. It's got just enough detail but also just little detail that I think that this is going to be the perfect print for a product like this. And finally, the final print that we are going to Sculpt Coat today is this warrior. I chose this one because I wanted to test out a dark filament with this product, and 2 because this has an insane amount of details and I want to see how it works with the details. There was quite some difficulty with this warrior 3D print that may have ended in the loss of the base of the prints, part of the face shields, and a little bit of the outfit. So the vibe I'm going for now is an unearthed statue. I want this thing to look like it just came fresh out of the earth. Yes, it's damaged and run down, but that's exactly what I'm going for now that I broke it. I think this has the potential to look really good when it's all done. Like I said earlier, that ratio is 2.5 powder to 1 water, so we're going to carefully measure out the powder and drop them into their respective cups. Now you're probably noticing I'm going with a 2-to-1 ratio. Surely this won't cause any problems in the future whatsoever. It also seems like all the consistencies are different, even though I use the same ratio for all of them. Somehow they're all turning out different. I don't know what's up with that. Now we're ready to paint. Let's bust out our first sculpture and get to painting. Here I am just trying to get some even coverage, some even strokes on this sculpture. I'm having a little bit of a hard time because it's so watery. It almost just seems like I'm putting water on this print. There's very little actual substance to it. So I think the mixture might be a little bit off, and that might be something I want to reconsider on the second coat. Here's the end of coat 1 on sculpture 1. It's very hard to tell on camera, but it's very watery, it's very uneven, and right now it does not look like it's going to turn out great. I'm really holding out for the second coat here. I'm hoping that's going to pull it all together. Next, with our Chalkstone White, because we have 2 identical sides to this print, I want to try a little bit of an experiment. On one side, I'm going to try to go super heavy with this stuff, and the other side, I'm going to go super light so that we can compare later and see which one was better. I'm going to be honest with you, this is looking really heavy. I kind of think I'm overdoing a little bit, but again, we're in too deep, we just gotta keep going. This top surface will also be really interesting to see because it's completely flat. Again, a little bit of a hard time getting some even coverage with this stuff, however, this consistency is going on a lot better. Finally, the warrior, the one that I'm most excited for with the pumpkin stone coat. Right off the bat, I can notice a huge difference in the way that this one is going on. I kind of think I got the consistency wrong on the first 2, because when the consistency is right like this one, you can tell everything just works so much smoother, it goes on so much better. In general, I just think it's going to leave us with a way better final product. Speaking of final products, here's the final product after coat 1 on print 3, the warrior. It's recommended to let these things dry for 45 minutes in between coats. You can see here, I'm in a little bit of a rush, so I'm going to be using a heat gun to hopefully speed up this process. I would not recommend this because there is a chance that you just melt the print considering it's PLA, but you can do whatever you want, and this is what I happen to do. My philosophy behind this was put my hands behind the print, and if my hand got too hot, that means that the print is probably too hot. I really can't recommend this logic, but it worked for me and the print stayed intact and didn't melt. and neither did my hand. This is also where I realized that it's actually not too late for gloves, and you should probably be wearing them if you're doing this. After only sitting for 30 minutes, we have discovered a bit of a critical failure here, and that is that the chalkstone white paint is a rock, a complete rock. Kind of funny, isn't it? It turned into a rock when we're trying to make things look rock-like. Anyways, I tried to revive this with some water. It did come back a little bit, however, it just made the consistency very chunky, and you can see here when I tried to spread it on the print, it just was not right. I'm just gonna ditch this entire batch completely and start fresh, but this time I'm doing no measurements. I'm gonna be cooking this thing up like Walter White just by heart. That actually seemed to work really good. Again, I just went for that creamy peanut butter consistency like they recommended, and I think I got it here. Look at the way this is going on. This is such a huge improvement over that first batch. Consistency is key here. See what I did there? It's a double meaning. Consistency is key, meaning you have to apply consistent coats, but also the consistency of the actual liquid itself is very important. You want that peanut butter consistency. Here's the end of coat 2 on Sculpture 1. For some reason, it was only that chalkstone white that really turned solid. All the rest of these colors are just fine. So there's really no need to mix up anymore. I'm just going to keep using the same batch that I already had for the other two. While your printer might not be able to print out stone, it also can't print out metal. So what are you supposed to do if you need something made out of metal, like maybe CNC machines, but you don't have a CNC machine? You should check out PCBWay, obviously, which is a sponsor of today's video. PCBWay's 8th project design contest is also happening right now as we're speaking with some really good prizes, so you should go check that out as well. PCBWay is an online service where you can simply upload your STL file, whatever it is that you want made, choose the quantity, the size, the material that is printed out of, including nylon, which if you didn't know is hard to print out of, pick the surface finish if you want to spray paint it, if you want it assembled, how you want to ship to you, add it to your cart, and they will get those made for you in 2 to 3 days and shipped out to you right away. Not only that, but they also offer CNC machining, sheet metal laser cutting and bending, and injection molding. So if there is something that you need made that you just can't quite make yourself, I'm willing to bet that PCBWay is what you need. And if you're more of an electronics guy, you need an actual electronic PCB made, they are 100% the people for that. It's quite literally in their name. Go check them out in the description down below and get $5 off your first order. Again, on this second coat, I'm going for a really light coat, especially on this print because I went so heavy on the initial coating. This is also when we're going to start coating the light side of the prints. Again, just a very light, very easy coating on this side so that we can get some really good comparison later. I'm also trying to make sure there's not any spots that I missed, maybe on the bottom of the print or in the hidden areas you don't really see that easily. Here is the end of coat 2 on Sculpture 2. Going into coat 2 on our warrior, I already really like the way that this one is looking after just one coat. I'm gonna go very easy again on this one. I'm not trying to bulk this thing up and lose those details. I just again want to go in and get the places that I missed, like the backside of the sword. Somehow that just completely left my mind on that first coat. Here is the end of coat 2 on Sculpture 3. I just love the way this thing is looking. It looks like an actual ancient relic that was dug up from the earth, which is exactly what I was going for. Now I'm going to actually let these things sit for a little bit, so hopefully they can cure without the assistance of a heat gun. Okay, it's been long enough. Let's get started on some post-processing on our post-processing. First, I'm going to go in and sand down all the areas that I think have a little bit too much on them. Especially with this first statue, you can see the areas where it just clumped up when I was using that bad batch. I'm going to try to get rid of that with the sanding paper. I'm also going to go into the little tiny details and try to revive a little bit of that detail that we lost because we kind of pancaked it on so much. Hopefully we can get some of that back right now. I'm also going to go in with a pick to really get those fine details. I'm basically going to repeat that process for all of the prints and that's it. Specifically with the pillar, I'm going in with a pick really deep on those grooves to give it a lot more depth and a lot more detail. I think this would shine a lot more if I used a darker filament instead of white so that when that filament pokes out, it just adds a little bit more depth and a little bit more detail and shadow. I'd also recommend wearing a respirator or a mask of some sorts. Personally, I didn't, but I would recommend that you guys do because I care about your lungs and this is a really fine powder that this is producing. Here is the final product of all three. Looking back, it's crazy seeing the progression and just my strategy going from the first print to the last print. Overall, I am extremely happy with the way that these turned out and I am very happy to report that yes, they are cold to the touch. I know I had my doubts, I did, I'll be honest with you, but they are actually cold when you touch them. It's kind of freaky. This also adds a good amount of weight to it as well, which makes sense considering you're adding stone to the print. Stone is heavy. Of course, I am most impressed with the warrior statue. This thing really does look like it was just dug up from an archaeological site and it's about to make headlines everywhere. It'll at least make the headlines for a couple hours till something else crazy happens in the world, but it has that detail to me. It has the possibility of being a headline print, no doubt about it. The pillar statue again turned out great, however I think I went a little bit to the extremes of both sides on this print. I just wish that I would have went a little bit lighter on the heavy side so that we could retain a lot of those details that we lost. And finally, for our first statue that we worked on today, I'm okay with it. I'm not over the top thrilled with the way this one turned out, but I'm not mad about it either. It's cold to the touch, it's a lot heavier than it initially was, and it does look like stone from certain angles. However, we lost a lot of details on this one. I think any downfalls with this one is completely on me and the consistencies I was using. If we take a look at the top of this print though, those layer lines are gone. So that's a huge bonus for this print, no layer lines. To sum it up, would I use this product again? Yes, absolutely. I mean, look at the way this turned out. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It made our 3D prints look like they're made of stone. I do think that there was a lot of technique involved and a lot of strategy involved with this, and I wish it would have been a little bit more consistent considering I used the exact same measurements on all three initially and they all came out to different consistencies. But after knowing the consistency I was aiming for, I was able to go back and fix my mistakes and create a product that works exactly as it was intended to do. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. But that's all I got for you all today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned about a new product and maybe a new way to finish some of your prints. If you enjoyed the video, you'll probably enjoy a lot of my other ones. In fact, YouTube thinks you're gonna like this one specifically, so go check it out and maybe subscribe if you want to. We're really close to hitting that 50K mark and that would just be awesome to hit it before Christmas. Also, look at this huge long list of people that want to support me by being channel members. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I mean, that's just insane to me. It's honestly unbelievable. So thank you. If you want to see your name up on screen like all of these awesome people, then you can just click that join button. You'll get access to see all my past live streams, stuff like that, but you don't have to do any of that. All I hope you do is have a great rest of your day and promise me that I'll see you later in a future video.